Bobby Bones Show now.
Jason Aldean.
Here he is.
Yeah.
What up?
What's happening?
Hey, I was thinking about you. We were together a couple nights ago at a charity event.
Yeah.
We were talking, and unless somebody knows it's you, I don't think people would see you and go, "Oh, that's Jason Aldean, the big rock star."
Yeah, it's the beauty of the cowboy hat, man. You know what I mean? It's like I think that's what everybody kind of sees. So when I go out to something like that, I don't think I had a baseball cap or anything on the other night, and so yeah, it's a completely different look. I kind of slide under the radar sometimes, but
I was thinking about it because we're there talking, and I was like, I wonder if Jason ever has to go somewhere and you like give them your ID, and they're like, "Nah, that's not you."
I mean, I feel like it's happened occasionally. It's funny though, anymore, it's almost like if they see me and think they recognize me, they look over and they see my wife and they're like, hold on, okay, I think that's it. That's definitely him because that's her. You know what I mean? So I think she draws more attention than I do a lot of times, just people noticing her, and then they kind of put it all together. But
if you go through a Starbucks,
she's blowing my cover, you know what I mean?
Will you say Jason? Like Starbucks, you walk in and go Jason?
Yeah.
And all cool? They turn
Well, that's my name.
I know, but still. And when you're so famous, I think you got to roll with like a Chuck or a Willie or something like that.
No, just use my name, Bobby.
All right. Jason Aldean's here. New record out today?
Yeah, man, I'm excited. It's, anytime these albums come out, we spend so much time working on them, and then, this long gap in between the time that you finish them and the time they finally come out, and you're playing them for all your friends and family, and they typically tell you how great it is, but then you want like a real opinion. So they kind of have to tell you that because they're friends and family. So, it's exciting when the album comes out, man, and you get some honest feedback, and that's a big day for us.
16 songs.
Yeah.
That's a lot. You always do basically double albums, but put it on one record.
Well, my theory on that is just always, if we're going to wait in a year and a half or 2 years to put out an album, I want it to be worth the wait when it finally comes out. You wait for, if you have a favorite artist and you wait for a year and a half, 2 years, and then they put out an album that's got 10 songs on it. I don't know. I would just feel like I got a little cheated with it. So we just try to, usually 15 was kind of our norm. Like that was usually what we did. And then on this record, we had 16, and I wasn't really willing to cut one of them off. So we just tacked it onto the album and made it 16.
Jason Aldean's here. I'm going to play track one, a little bit of Tattoos and Tequila. If you get the record, you turn it on. This is the first song you're going to hear here. So what is it that you're looking for when you find songs that you like? Is there something specific when you're like, all right, this is what I'm looking for? I don't know. Like what?
I think for me, it's a combination. I mean, obviously it's it's lyric stuff. It's, I don't know. I just want to feel like it's something believable. That's really the main thing. Something that's believable coming from me. So, lyric obviously has a lot to do with that. Melody, I know melody-wise things that I like, things that I'm good at singing, what's kind of in my sweet spot. And I don't know, man. Just something that I feel like as an artist, it's like when a fan's driving, they're in their car driving to work and they hear a brand new song for the first time, and they just kind of have that immediate attraction to the song. They're like, man, did you hear that new song? I love it. And it's kind of the same with us. When we hear these songs, I hear them once and I just kind of know, it's just like, man, I got to cut that. And so, I don't know. It's just kind of a thing. It's a combination of a lot of things, though, I think, for me.
You ever have a song that comes to you and you're like, wow, this song's so good, we got to cut this immediately?
Yeah. There was Thomas Rhett sent me one probably, I don't know, a month or so ago. And he was like, man, we just wrote this song on the road this weekend. You're the first person I thought of. And so he sent it to me. And I was like, yeah, man, I love it. I just finished my album. I said, hey, I just finished my record, but this will be one of the first things I cut for the next record if we, get it. And then he called me back a couple days later and said, well, I think somebody else is going to cut it. And I'm like, well, why would you ever send me a song that somebody else was going to cut? But, there are songs like that, man, that come in that you're just like, I mean, We Back was a song that we kind of were missing that piece of the album. And Tyler Hubbard called me up one day and just said, man, we want to go in and write something for your record. And him and the guys, the Warren brothers, went in and they wrote this thing and sent it to me a couple days later, and it was just like, man, that's exactly what the piece we were missing, for the album. And I think we went in probably 2 days after that and cut it. And then Brantley Gilbert sent me a song that I was on the way to the studio. We had our songs we were going to cut that day, and on the way in, he sent me a song, and I listened to it, and I got to the studio and told my producer, I'm like, all right, well, we're not going to cut this one. We're going to cut this one now.
You switch it up on
Yeah,
it.
it was like the day of going in the studio. So, it happens sometimes like that for sure.
New album's out today called 9. Thanksgiving's coming up. What are you going to do?
I think this year, probably go to my sister's house. I think we're doing Thanksgiving at her house. Typically, we do it at our house, but we're in the process of building our house, so we're gonna have it at her house this year, I think, and it's great. We only live about 10 minutes down the street, so perfect.
If you hire somebody to come and build a house, do they do the same thing to you they would do to me, where they're like, it's gonna be about an extra $1,500?
Probably. No, actually, the guy that's building our house is a friend of mine who has done some stuff. He's kind of done some stuff with. He built my sister's house. He built an add-on that we did to my last house, and so he's turned out to be a really good friend of ours, and so he's out there doing. So the thing I like about it is once we move in, if something's wrong, get him back. He'll come back over and fix it. So, but I would like to think no, they don't do that, but
What's up with do you have an Aldean room with all your trophies? You having one of those when you draw the plans out, you're like, this is my trophy room.
Well, we
Is that how he talks?
in our
I imagine that's how you're talking to your house builder.
Right.
I'll take a trophy room right here, please.
I don't really have a trophy room. I in the last house we built the bowling alley, the 2-lane bowling alley, and we kind of copied that and are doing it at the new house too. And that's kind of my hangout, but like speaking of Thanksgivings, like that's where we do that stuff. It's kind of out. It's separate from the house, and so that's kind of where like all plaques and all those kind of things go. And so I don't know. I guess it's kind of a room.
It's bowling alley.
Yeah. Do
Bowling
you
alley.
use the bowling alley enough? Because I would get me a bowling alley, but I'm not rich. But if the bowling alley, like I had a pool table before.
Yeah.
And I got it, and I was like, I use this 3 times and I'm done.
But see, I don't have a pool table because I did the same thing. I had a pool table and I never played it. Never played pool.
But you use the bowling alley?
All the time.
Are you a good bowler?
I'm pretty good. I mean, I'm decent.
300? Ever hit 300?
No, I never hit 300. 230.
Really?
Yeah, kind of in that
I have no idea what
range.
that means. I just hit him with a really, like, oh, wow. I have no idea what a 230 means.
I figure anything over 200 is pretty good. So
If you were to get a 300 and no one was there to watch you in your own house bowling alley, would you share with anyone, or would you
I'd take a picture and put it on the gram.
But no one will believe you.
Well, it's too bad.
In your own bowling alley?
Does it keep score like at the real bowling alley, or you have to old school?
No, it's the real deal. We had actually Brunswick came in and did all the the scoring systems and everything. So it's legit.
Do you have bumpers?
Yeah.
You do?
The only thing I don't have is for the kids where like you put the ball on the big metal thing and push it down the ramp.
Yeah.
I don't have the ramp. That's the only thing we don't have.
You got a little place to make Frito pies up there where you go up and you squirt it and make the Frito. You don't have that?
No, but I'll work on it just for you.
All right. Jason Aldean's here. Got a new record called 9. You guys know the squirty thing, right?
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
make
of
it-
course. No snack bar.
Yeah. You'll get there one day.
Snack machine. That's coming next.
Yeah, when you get to record like 12, then maybe you can get you one of those.
Yeah.
The significance of the number 9?
So 9 was it was my baseball number growing up. It was just kind of always my lucky number. And I remember George Strait had an album called Number 7 back in the day. And I just, I thought, man, maybe if I make 9 records, I'll call it Number 9 or something like that. And it just seemed like so far down the road, and then all of a sudden I looked up and we're cutting the 9th record, So it was just, it was kind of always my lucky number, just the number I wore playing sports. And I'll only get to make the 9th record once, so,
And the 9th track is We Back. Is that anything there? Or does that just happen?
I'd like to say that, we thought of that, but I don't think we did. Somebody brought it up to me yesterday, and I think that's the first time I heard it. But, I don't know. Maybe I'm not that creative, but that's a good move on our part. The single did come out on September 9th, so that was 9/9.
Just rolling it on.
That was something we planned.
Keeping it small town. Here's one of the new tracks from Jason Aldean today.
Yeah, we're all just backbone blue-collar people, burning that Texaco black smoke diesel. Yeah, we're keeping it small town, keeping it slow, keep that dust stirred up on them old dirt roads. Yeah,
How long ago did you record that one?
I would say maybe 5-6 months ago, probably.
Wow, really?
Yeah. So yeah, Morgan Wallen was one of the co-writers on that song, and they sent it to us, and Morgan's a great singer, man. I really like his voice a lot, and the track he did on it was really cool, and so that was one of those that I heard and just sounded like candy. You know what I mean? It's really good. So, but we probably cut that one. I probably cut the vocal on that one. I'd say probably 5-6 months ago.
When you get it, will you get it fully produced up, everything but the vocal, and you just sit with it and practice for a while, or no?
No, I mean, because when we get the, you mean after we track it? Or
Yeah, if the band goes in and tracks it and lays down all the instruments, will they ever send you that?
Oh, yeah. So I'll go in and track everything with the band. And then once we get the track, they'll send it to me, and I'll just kind of live with it in my car, till we go in to do the vocal, which sometimes could be the next week or sometimes could be a month later, so it just kind of depends. But yeah.
You ever have a song that you get and you're like, I don't know if this is for me, and you decide not to cut it, and then somebody else cuts it and turns it into a big hit?
Yeah. Luke Bryan had one of those. It was the Girl You Make My Speakers Go Boom Boom, that song, whichever one it is. And somebody pitched it to me, and I was listening to it on a plane ride one time, and it's one of those days where I was just kind of tired and kind of halfway paying attention, and I just kind of skipped past it, and I must have been looking for something like in particular, like I don't know if we were looking for tempos or what, but I was just kind of like trying to find them. I didn't think much about it, and then Luke played me his album, and I was like, yeah.
What could have been?
What could have been? Hey, but I'm also a firm believer that songs find the home they're supposed to find, and Big Green Tractor, Jake Owen passed on it, and which was how I ended up with it, and so it just works that way sometimes, and would Jake have had as big a hit on that as we did? Probably not. I probably wouldn't have had as big a hit on Luke's thing as he did. So,
your dad taught you how to play guitar?
Yeah, he taught me the basics. He knew how to play well enough to play country music. 3 chords, but he knew the basics and kind of taught me that. And he promised me that if I learned to play, he would buy me a nice guitar. So the guitar he bought me wouldn't stay in tune. I would play one song, have to retune. And, he just said, man, if you learn to play, I'll get you a nice guitar. Well, this was like at the start of the summer. And by the end of the summer, I was showing him how to play stuff. So a couple months in, I was playing better than him already. And he got a guitar. And I actually had that guitar on the road for a long time, and finally retired it off the road because I was scared. It's getting a little older, and I was scared something was going to happen to it. So it's retired from the road now, but I still got it.
And your parents weren't musicians. They were government? They worked for the government?
Yeah. So my dad was retired Air Force. And then my mom, she worked for the government doing like payrolls and stuff, like money. And so, yeah, my dad, he had a little band, it was like him and his buddies that would come over and sit in the living room and jam a little bit, and I would sit in there, sing with them a little bit, those kind of things. But, they weren't like musicians that got paid, if that's what you mean.
Jason Aldean's here with us. Got a new record, 9, out today. I wonder, Jason, if you're at a party or somebody's house, do people just expect for you to play if there's a guitar around? Do they kind of like lean you into, hey, there's a guitar over here, why not give them a song or two, Jason?
Friends are the worst. My friends are the worst. Like especially like the Buck Commander guys, when we go to like deer hunting camp or whatever, and it's me and Luke, we're there, or Tyler Farr. Now we've kind of pulled him into it too, but they're the worst, because they're like, they want you to sing and then play this song, and then you're done with that one, play this song, and you become like a jukebox at that point. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I mean, and for us, what's funny is I could play a million songs. Like I could play all kinds of stuff. And now for so many years, the songs that I play are mine, So then I kind of feel, I'm like, man, I feel weird playing my own stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just kind of puts you in a weird spot. And they're like, oh, you think a lot of your songs, don't you? So it's kind of one of those things. But, and I have to really think and go, man, what songs do I remember how to play? It's been so long. So it's different now.
You ever have proposals at your show? You ever anybody hit you up and let me propose at your show?
Yeah.
How you feel about those?
It depends, I mean, there's sometimes when you're trying to play a show and somebody's like trying to get your attention the whole time you're trying to play, and it's a little distracting. especially when you don't know what they want. You know what I mean? It's like you can't stop the song and go, what's wrong? You know what I mean? So, but sometimes like if we know ahead of time where I can kind of set it up or something, it works out better. We had one, I think last year maybe, that we do like a little VIP show before the regular show every night, and a guy wanted to propose, and he kind of got my attention, and so we kind of made a thing out of it. If I know what's going on, it's easier for me to help him out, so I don't know. It just kind of depends like that. Sometimes like when you're in the middle of a show, you're in the middle of like your rock part of the show where everything's grooving, and then it's hard to stop the show and go, all right, time out. Johnny wants to ask you a question.
Jason Aldean's here. He came in today. He's got a new record out today called 9. We played We Back. Everybody go stream it, download it, however you're getting your music here. Who takes up more closet space, you or your wife?
Oh, my wife. Kidding me? My closet's like, in this house we're in right now, I have like one strip that's about 6 feet long. That's about it.
Is that all you
She's
need?
got shoes. No, I need a little bit more than that. She's got so many shoes, man. It's crazy. So
Doesn't she have like a shoe line?
she does.
Yeah.
So, and they've been
That makes
sending them by the dump truckloads to our house, right? Shoes. So she right now a lot of them, like most of my shoes right now are in a box in the attic because I don't have any place to put them. I got like like my A-rig stuff, the stuff that I wear like a lot. It's there. Everything else, I got like 2 boxes of stuff in the attic.
You done having kids?
Yes, Bobby, I am. I am officially out of the game, my man.
Like, are you medically out of the game or just in your heart and your head?
All of it. Well, more just I'm done. I'm out.
But physically,
But I
you
mean,
can still
could
have
it
kids.
happen?
Physically, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So you
okay.
haven't did snip.
Well, I have.
Oh, you
but
have.
There's ways around that.
Okay, so
See.
okay.
Wait, what?
Is that public? Well, yeah, you can get a reset.
Oh,
yeah.
He was acting like it's not a reset. Like it's just like on a Friday you can just decide
No,
you don't
it's
want
a process, but there's a ways around it.
Is that news that you've had a vasectomy, or is that out there?
I guess it's
Well,
out
Brad,
there.
that's how we do. We
Oh.
break news here.
Breaking
Jason Aldean
news.
vasectomy
This
news.
is important
No
stuff.
more babies that look just like Jason.
Yeah.
They did, boy. Your son.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. They definitely lost the coin flip on that one, but and both of them Navy too. She's looking more and more like Memphis. So, but it's cool, man. I really enjoy having the little ones there, and my kids are 16, 12. Memphis is about to be 2. So there was a 10-year gap there for me, and but it's so much fun having little ones around again, and it keeps you young, man. So it's fun.
All right, Jason Aldean's here. About to let you go. I'm always intrigued by the amount of pyro that you use. There's a lot of explosions. You ever accidentally walked up on one of those a little too
Yes.
close?
Yeah, oh yeah.
And before you tell me the story, I need to know the process, because it seems like I would be hypersensitive to where they're blowing up, and if there's like some training, like practice maneuvers around that stuff.
The closest call I ever had was I think we were doing like an iHeart show out in Austin or something, and I was walking on stage, and so it wasn't really our setup, but on the side of the stage they had like these little rocket things that went up, and one went up and kind of like brushed the edge of my cowboy hat, and I mean it blinded me. I couldn't see and for a second, and that was the closest call I ever had, just because I felt like it almost hit me in the face, but it wasn't really our gear. It was it was iHeart's rig. So
I had nothing to do
so
with
you
that.
know.
I had nothing to do with
Just
that
so
one.
you know.
Nothing to do with that one.
But typically, man, when it's our stage, you kind of know what's going on, and we had these sparkler things that would come down, at the end of the show, like the grand finale for the show, and that was always a thing where I would mess up sometimes and stand where the sparkles were coming down, and they get down in your shirt and like in your collar and burn you. So that was fun. So yeah,
Worth it.
after the Burning It Down tour, we started to reevaluate some things.
One final question here. What piece of advice from an artist early in your career did you take and get and you still kind of remember?
Man, I learned a lot from all those guys, really. I mean, I was just kind of a student, so.
Anybody ever pull you aside and like, hey, Jason, we see things are blowing up for you? Because for you, you hit hard. Like,
Yeah.
It was a rapid ascent.
Yeah, I think, McGraw was one of those guys that kind of, had been there, done that, and we were out on tour with him. I think it was probably in 08, 09, and things were kind of starting to take off a little bit, and just sitting around. I used to play basketball with him all the time, and talk and just those guys just telling you like some of the pitfalls to watch out for, and how to just go about your business. I think the biggest thing was that this, your career is like your career, and you got a lot of people that may want to tell you to do this and do that, but ultimately, like at some point, you're the boss, and it's up to you to kind of steer the ship where you want it to go. And I think that was probably some of the best advice I got. And
if you're flipping it, like who do you grab and go, hey, let me lead you a little bit here if you need it? Kane Brown, guys like that. I mean, I've had a lot of talks with him just over the years. He was so new, when he came out, he really hadn't played live a whole lot, and he kind of got thrown into all this stuff and blew up pretty quick too. So he was one. Luke Combs is a guy that's called and asked some questions on some things, and he's, because he kind of blew up quick too. And, so I tell all these guys that have been out on tour with me, man, anytime you guys need to talk about anything, I'm always here. So. All right. With that, we'll encourage you to check out Jason's new album, 9. Got a lot of songs on there. Also, listen, if there's one place Morgan number 2 loves to go, it's Jason Aldean's downtown.
Yes, very true.
That's her place, and I don't go many places except for where Morgan number 2 goes, so it's kind of my place too. Hey, I love it, man. We go top level. They play Genuine Pony. I grind hard. You should come. We should come grind together sometime. What do you think? Well, I don't know about all that. All right. But, we did just open, Luke and I just opened the steakhouse here too, that just opened here a couple weeks ago, the E3. And it's down there in Hillsborough Village, but so we're trying to take over the old restaurant market here in Nashville, but it's good. What was Luke wearing?
A cowboy hat.
He showed up.
It was all black, and he had a big black cowboy hat.
He looked like John Party.
Yeah.
And he shaved his beard, and he shaved his beard off too. I didn't know if he was going for something.
I don't know. Maybe he was going to look for like John Party. I don't know what was going on. When he got out of the car, I'm like, what just happened right now?
You thought the same thing, right?
Yeah, I don't have a hat on, and you're wearing a cowboy hat. This is completely off here. But it was fun. We had a good time, and we've been working on that restaurant for a long time. So to finally have it up and running, it's great, and the food's great too. So check that one out too when you guys are out on the town. Got it going, all of it. You need a few more bucks. I was thinking about it. Glad you could open up another restaurant. I was really feeling bad for you. I get bored, man. I got to have stuff to do. All right, Jason Aldean. Hey, good to see you, bud. Really appreciate it. Check out 9, Jason Aldean. Let's clap him out here. There he is, Bobby Bones Show.